Absolutely beautiful here. Nice and calm. Let's see if we can find some fish. Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Fly Guy Ron. Well, we're beginning a brand new series today, the Essential Tips for the Beginner Fly Fisherman Part 1. So, just as a disclaimer, I've only been fly fishing for 4.5 years, and I am nowhere near an expert, but I do know that these tips will help the beginner fly fisherman. So let's dive right in to the first tip, reconnaissance. I know, like you, we're excited the night before. We pack our gear, the car, and so forth. We hit the river the next day, and we are so anxious to go ahead and just blind cast and get those flies on the water. And my tip today is resist the urge to do that. Reason being is that if you take 5 to 10 minutes at the riverbank and look at the situation, look at the water, see if there are any irregularity movements. Do you see rises? Do you see bugs flying around? Do you see areas where fish would hang out better? Look for the seams, look for the pocket water, look at rocks, boulders in the river that are going to hopefully hold some fish. Maybe on the banks, maybe it rained the night before, so we're a little off color on the water, and so you'll use a squirmy wormy instead of a regular fly. So you want to be able to survey the water, see if there are bugs flying around so that you can match the hatch by size, shape, and color in that order. You'll also want to go ahead and possibly turn over rocks that are on the riverbed, and those will show you some of the activity of creatures below the surface. If you don't see any rises, then you're probably looking at a situation where you're going to want to fish subsurface. So you're going to be taking nymphs that will match what you find in the water under the rocks. Our second tip is practicing your knots. You will want to practice the most critical knots for fly fishing over and over again in your spare time, in front of the TV. Anywhere you have a little bit of time, just keep practicing those knots. The reason being is it's muscle memory that you're developing. You want to be able to be at the water and have your flies on the water maximum amount of time. And you can't do that if you're sitting there fiddling, trying to get your basic knots tied. So practice makes perfect when it comes to knots. Well, the first knot that you want to be able to tie is the clinch knot or the improved clinch knot. And this will attach the end of your tippet or your leader to the actual flies. And it's a very important knot to master. So for me, I always tie the improved clinch knot. It's an additional step to the clinch knot, but the improved clinch knot to me is a little bit stronger in my view. So that's why I use it. But you do what you feel comfortable with and it'll work for you. The next one that you want to master is the surgeon knot, whether it's a double or triple surgeon knot. Surgeon knot is used to attach your tippet or leader together, basically two pieces of fly line together. And this can be used to master bounce rigs, nymph rigs, etc. Final knots that you need to master are going to be the blood knot or the nail knot. And these are going to be used to attach your leader to the fly line in the case of a failure of the loop-to-loop connection. The third tip today is tight lines. It's more than just an expression between anglers. It's an essential part of landing the fish. Once the fish takes your fly, you immediately are going to set the hook by raising the rod straight up and maintaining that angle until you land the fish. You're going to be stripping in with the other line, with the other hand, and you will be maintaining that tight line throughout the process until you land that fish into your net. And this is essential because unless you keep a tight line, you're giving the fish the advantage of being able to spit that fly right out. And those hooks are very, very small. So the room for error is minimal. So keeping a tight line gives you the advantage.
There you go. That's a good fish.
Oh yeah.
Let it run, let it run, let it run, let it run.
Gotta.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Tight, 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 tight. Tight, 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 tight. You keep tight, keep tight, keep tight. Keep tight. Keep tight. Keep tight.
Woo!
Good fish, good fish. Let's go, buddy.
And the final tip for everyone today is buy yourselves a pair of polarized sunglasses. This is an essential part of your gear in addition to your rod and other things. But what this device does, and here's an example of what I have, these are polarized sunglasses, is that they cut the glare on the water, enabling you to see things you otherwise wouldn't. And also, these polarized sunglasses allow you to look down through the water column into the riverbed. That'll enable you to sight fish and be able to see pods of fish in the area close to the bank. And will also provide safety in that you'll be able to see the riverbed and hopefully not step into a deep pool where then you're dunking and then the game is over. So get yourself a pair of these sunglasses. These are actually non-prescription, and that's because I have prescription glasses. So these go right over me like this. They look ridiculous, but they're very effective in terms of cutting the glare. So get yourself these. They're about 20 bucks. I've got them in amber or bronze, and that is a very good color to use for all light conditions. I know there's others that are out there, mirrored blue, that's usually for sight fishing on big bodies of water, but these work just really good for me. And also, don't forget your lanyards, because the minute you don't have lanyards on any glasses that you're wearing that day, I guarantee you, at one point, you will take your glasses off and you will lose them in the water. They'll be gone for good, unfortunately. But get yourself the sunglasses. It's very, very important for many reasons, as I outlined. In addition to that, sunscreen, 40 to 45, 50 SPF. It's essential to cover all areas that are exposed to the sun. And take it from me, I've had 5 Mohs surgeries to remove skin cancer from my upper body, and you will need this. This is essential gear. It has to be waterproof as well. In addition, for your neck, if you don't like putting that crap on you, use a neck gaiter. This one is it's in a brook trout design, but they've got others as long as they repel the sun and have an SPF factor. Lastly, the most important thing you want to have is a stupid looking wide brim hat. And these are great because it keeps the sun off your face. And having a back flap is essential because then it helps keep it off the back of your neck. That sun is going to hit the water and be used as a mirror, and you want to do everything you can to keep it off of you and reduce the chances of skin cancer. So there are your first 4 tips for beginner fly fisherman part 1. So I've also added some links in the comments section to various aspects of the 4 tips that we went over today. Until next time, this is Fly Guy Ron. Tight lines.